Hello and welcome to another round of IndieX for today. If you are just joining or is the first time that you are following IndieX, we are indie game showcase. We're showing the 50 best participants that we got from participants all around the world. And with me today, there are the developers of Super Dungeon Maker. Hello, Linda and Julian. How you doing?
Hi, we're doing well. Though I have to correct you that I'm Julian, but the other person is not Linda, but it's Flo. So Linda is my wife. We are the developers of Super Dungeon Maker, and Flo, who's here with us today, she's from the publisher Rokaplay.
Yeah, what's a stream without an issue in the first five
Yeah.
seconds, right? Uh, yeah, we'll correct the name as soon as possible. Sorry for that. Can you tell
Don't
us
worry.
a bit about your company and how it started?
Sure, sure. Yeah, as I said, our company, FIRECHICK, it's basically just the two of us. So my wife Linda, who can't be here in the call right now because of back pain issues, and yeah, me. So I'm doing programming and lots of other stuff, but mainly the programming part. And she's responsible for art mainly. Yeah, and we've actually worked together in the past on games as well. And yeah, about 2 years ago, we decided to quit the company where we were at the time, and uh, wanted to try to make stuff just like the two of us, because we thought we were a great team. And yeah, I mean, obviously, we are also married, so I think that
Yeah.
speaks for itself that we think we can work well together.
It works both in professionally and personally, I
Yes,
imagine.
exactly. And yeah, that's basically yeah, we wanted to do games we've always dreamed about. The first one we are working on right now is Super Dungeon Maker. Yeah.
So, Super Dungeon Maker is the debut title for the company, right?
Yes, exactly. Like I said, we have worked on games in the past, but it's the first game for us as Five Chick.
Usually as indie companies they always want to start with a perfect game, like 500% polish everything to a lot of content. Is this the case for you, or do you have someone saying we need these features, we need this to be done, we cannot like have too much stuff, or you have time to develop wherever you want?
Um, I mean, I don't think anybody has all the time they want, and I often also think that it's a good thing if you have restrictions can like encourage creativity. Um, and yeah, for us, it's like I said, we are working together with a publisher, so maybe Flo can say a little bit about that. But even though obviously sometimes there are restrictions, I can say that with Super Dungeon Maker, Rocker Play is very they are open to many ideas that we introduce, and we are freely developing in the directions we want, or rather our community wants.
Okay, awesome. Let's do a fast little exercise. This is a blind pitch. Maybe the users or the viewers haven't ever heard of Super Dungeon Maker. You have 30 seconds, 1 minute to sell us the game without us seeing any footage.
Okay.
What would you describe?
Okay, Super Dungeon Maker is basically a combination of Super Mario Maker, but for classic 2D Zelda-like dungeons. So you can create your own dungeons using objects and items, solving puzzles, fighting enemies and bosses, and then you can directly upload these dungeons inside the game, so other people can download them, or if you are not the builder type yourself, you can simply play the dungeons by other players.
I already played it, but you got it sold to me again with the description. So this basically has unlimited, not yet unlimited because people are still making them, but it has unlimited potential for everybody to create levels, to create their own stories, their own mazes, and you can just jump in and play any of them.
Yeah, basically, that's what it is. I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to say stories. There's something a few users are requesting, like the creation of like a full Zelda type game with a big story and stuff. That's something we don't offer right now, and which isn't really the goal for us. We want to focus like on small, safe, self-contained things like a dungeon, which, I mean, there's still a big variety in how long a dungeon can be. So some dungeons you will maybe play like 5 minutes, and then there's others which will take you like half an hour to play through them. So as I said, there's
Mhm.
a big variety, but we are like not want we don't want to give the people the ability to create a whole game, but rather focused on a single dungeon. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. So more about having a lot of dungeon crawling experiences rather than have people getting lost in branches of stories and NPCs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is basically you're aiming at the sandbox experience. So that's
Yeah.
I think it's a good point.
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's jump straight to the game. As you can everybody can see, the art is lovely and amazing already. I'm here at the main. Can you call it the main hub?
Yeah, that's like our main hub, where you basically always start when playing the game. Only the first playthrough starts like in a small tutorial like dungeon where you can like get to know a little bit of the controls and stuff. But after that, yeah, this hub is where you will start when playing. And yeah, the main focus, as I said, of the game is the player created dungeons. There are also a few dungeons we have created, which can be accessed by walking through the hub and finding the entrances. Um,
Like
yeah,
this one over
yeah, for
here.
example, this one where you are going right here, right now. Um,
So, where did the idea for Super Dungeon Maker start? Did you check Super Mario Maker and thought, "Oh, I love Zelda. I wish there was
yes,
something for this."
that's basically how it started. So from the moment Super Mario Maker was introduced by Nintendo, I think there were, or released at least, there were people asking for this, and me including myself. So I thought it would be so cool. Like, I mean, I am a professional game developer now, but since I was a child, basically, I thought, well, what would be so cool to create like your own of these dungeons. And then Super Mario Maker came and it allowed you to create your own Mario levels. But if you are not like the jump and run type of guy, or rather you want to create puzzles and stuff, that's not really what you want. And yeah, we thought basically a Zelda dungeon maker would be a great idea. And yeah, that's why we started working on a prototype and pitched that one to rokaplay. They also believed in the idea and in us as a team, which is why we started developing the game.
Awesome. So the prototype already the sandbox to build one level, or you made one level and showed it to them and told them there was the potential to create everything from the builder itself.
We actually started with the builder included because we thought, like, obviously, if you like create a Zelda type dungeon, or if we just would have created a dungeon, it wouldn't really have worked as a pitch, I think, because we I think one of the issues, because these dungeons are very complex or can be very complex, especially when compared to like a Super Mario Maker level, because a Super Mario Maker level, a basic level can be, you start on the left and then you run to the right, and maybe there's one or two holes in between where you have to jump over, and that's a level, and that's easy to make, and anybody can do that. But for our game, it is a little bit harder, and that's why we thought we had to show off like that we can make it quite easy and accessible to create these dungeons.
And from your starting vision, what you envisioned for the game, do you feel happy? Did you surpass your expectations, or is it more according to whatever you planned?
No, it's very much what we envisioned it to be in the beginning. I mean, there's still a few things missing. The game is in early access right now on Steam, so we are still developing it, and there's still a few features that we had envisioned from the start that are not in the game yet, but we are working on those, and we are very confident to get the game where we want it to be. Also, there's stuff, because like I said, we've been in early access for a while now, and that was always the goal for us to go into early access with this game, because the dungeons or the players or our community is basically part of what makes the game unique. We need the people to create cool dungeons to make the game awesome, which is why we wanted to include the community from the very beginning into the development of the game, because there's always, like, as a developer, you have ideas of what might be a good new feature, but maybe that isn't even the best feature for someone who is more like a casual dungeon creator. And so we try to listen to our community about what they want, and that definitely has helped the game a lot. So the game is a lot like what we envisioned in the beginning, but it's even better because we are working together with the community.
Can you give us an example of something that's in the game because of the community, or any change that was made?
There's multiple small ones, like about feedback when collecting an item, stuff like that. Then we weren't sure in the beginning if we wanted to add a map to the dungeon, which the users requested a lot, and which is why we chose to do it now. And yeah, then we in the beginning we had like a very complex system planned for bosses, where you could basically freely program your bosses. By the way, if you go now to the south here, or in the hole there, fall down to the just walk
This
to the
one?
right, and then now you can walk to the left, to the
Here.
bottom left, yeah, and then go there, and you can continue. Then yeah, you can
Okay.
jump over, and now you can go to the left.
Yes. And for the viewers, I have terrible spatial awareness. I get lost like every single time, either in real life or in games. So I'm the perfect person to be doing a
Yeah.
dungeon crawler.
I think I can help a bit with what feedback our community gave us. They can also vote, like, for themes and all that stuff, or always drop their ideas, what items, decoration, whatever they think could fit and might be a good implementation.
Yes.
And we're always discussing all of them. It's not like we just read them and like, okay, go ahead, but we are always reading those.
Okay, yeah, because feedback is good, but you also need to filter between what's valuable and what's not
And
as
even
valuable.
what's possible.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Not everything that we wish to implement is possible.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You probably wish you had multiple playable characters, all with different abilities and superpowers, and
Would be awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
I would be the first to jump into it.
Yes.
But we always have to think, okay, what can we do? What can we implement also so good that the community likes it? So it's not like just implementing and, well, okay, like it or not.
Yeah, exactly. And do you find it hard to have, for example, majority of the community wanting something that you know is not achievable at the moment?
I'd say our community is mostly understanding. If we explain to them that stuff like we can't do it due to technical reasons or something like that. But of course, there's some things that the people would really love to see, and we know that, and we hear it, but we can't always like give it to them. Yeah, it's hard, and sometimes it hurts a little bit because we want to make everyone happy, but we just can't. I mean, like I said, we are a two-person studio, so uh, we we are kind of limited in what we can do.
Exactly, but I think looking at the state of the game right now, it would be hard to say that it's only a two-person job.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, right now
Actually,
you walked into like the little tutorial
yeah.
building area where you can test out the building part of the game. Um, if you
And you
want to,
can't get lost. You
But I,
can't get lost.
yeah, I can make my way out of this if I want, so I don't get lost.
yeah. Yeah, also if you're totally lost and just want to get out, you can always just open the pause menu and exit the dungeon.
Oh, this is very practical for people like me.
Yeah, you
So
can
yeah,
also restart the dungeon if you're totally lost, so return to the beginning of the dungeon.
I'm just showing the capabilities of the. So here I will fall again. This
Yeah, while
so
building, there's basically like two modes, which is something we decided very early on. So you have like a floor mode where you can freely paint rooms and walls, and then there's an object mode where you can, place objects, but cannot alter the floor or the walls.
So I can give me myself one key, but why not all of the keys?
Yeah, sure.
And while we're at it, one of the big keys. It's free, right?
It's free, exactly. So that's also something that we've been asked before in the past, I think, if we wanted to enforce like restrictions or something. So basically, we could have implemented like a system that allows you to always, like, if there's a door with a key, you always have to put one key uh, into the room so you can. It always matches. But that's something we did not want to do. We basically want to offer total freedom when doing this, because there's always the possibility that you can like create a puzzle where there are multiple keys, but you only have to choose like the right one or stuff like that. So yeah, we don't have any restrictions for the amount of stuff or something that you can place. I think the only restrictions that we have right now is that there's only one entrance to the dungeon and one exit or goal, which is always the golden egg.
Golden egg, which is right here.
Yeah, which
Uh,
is right there.
so it doesn't need to be obtainable. You can, as I think this bird over here tells us, no builder would make such a dungeon, but sometimes the developers did exactly that. So
Yeah, but that's only for this dungeons. If you want to upload your dungeon to the community, you will have to play through your dungeon basically the same style as Super Mario Maker is. So you first have to build it and then play through it from the very beginning to the end. So you will have to reach the golden egg. That's simply to ensure that people can't upload a dungeon that is not completable.
oh, yeah, that's cool because otherwise you would only know if it's complete, if you're terrible, or if the dungeon is impossible
Yeah.
after some time.
I mean, there can be the possibility at times to like
Now
thank you.
this is a wall. I
Yeah,
was
you just yeah.
this
There can be like the possibility that someone uploads a dungeon that can only be beat by like maybe using a known issue, a bug, or something like that. But that's very rare. We haven't really had many trouble with this until now. And if it happens, there is the ability to report a dungeon, so we can take a look at it, and if it's really unbeatable, we can simply remove it. This also goes for dungeons that might contain like stuff that shouldn't be there, inappropriate stuff in the description, stuff like that.
Okay.
There is a filtering system, but if it's somehow breached or something slips through, there's always the ability for people to report stuff.
We have a question in the stream. Is the game coming out on Switch or other platforms besides Steam?
Actually, the game will probably come to Steam, to Switch, because we actually are right now having a Kickstarter campaign, which we started yesterday, and successfully reached our goal of 15,500 euros today
Nice.
already for a Nintendo Switch port. So I can hereby confirm probably that there will be a Nintendo Switch version as well. I can't give a timeline for that yet, but it will be on Nintendo Switch as well as Steam. Those
Maybe-
are the two platforms we are targeting right now. Flo, just want to say something?
Yeah, maybe it's also important to say that dungeons that will be built on Nintendo Switch will also be playable on Steam
Oh.
and vice versa.
Nice crossplay. That's amazing.
Yes, that was
So this-
something we from the beginning we knew that we would like to port the game to Nintendo Switch later on, because we think it's a very great fit, which is why we choose a platform from the beginning that would allow us to have the dungeons hosted in a way that they are accessible both on Steam and Nintendo Switch.
So this was the first official public announcement that there will be probably a Nintendo Switch version?
I think
kind
so.
of.
Yes.
Kind
I
of,
mean,
yeah.
We talked in the past about that we want to do it, but now that the Kickstarter has been reached the funding goal, I think that was the first official one. Yes.
Yes, the first official event to tell that, we're funded and we have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. By the way, I was saving this for a bit further in the end, but already Asphodel told me to talk about it. Some of the organizers of IndieX also write video game reviews for a newspaper, an online newspaper called The Rubber Chicken. So this is like the perfect theme and game for us.
Awesome. Awesome.
So I should make. Why am I doing this? I think I can put the floor. Where is the floor? Doors. Floor's over here. Okay, I like the blue one. Awesome.
Yeah. No,
So where
you've made it through the dungeon. Yeah.
to the dungeon maker dungeon?
Yeah.
So where should I go now?
If you want to, you can go right there into the Expedia building, which is where the online dungeons are located. So this is like the first view. These are, I think, I'm not sure because for me the image is covered at the top, but I think right now you're at the top dungeons, the most downloaded ones. Then there's always like new dungeons and trending dungeons, which are the categories right now. But obviously you can also like search for a specific dungeon. So if you create a dungeon and you want one of your friends to look at the dungeon, you can simply tell them either the name. You can search by name, but every dungeon also has like an ID, which is shown here at the top left when you click on a dungeon. And you can share that ID with your friends so they can easily find your dungeon. As Flo said in the beginning, I think that we are already right around, I think, 2,000 dungeons right now, or close to 2,000. So it's important for us that you that you can enable your friends to like find the dungeons you've created.
Oh, that's awesome. So some of these dungeons might be uncharted territory for you too, right? Let's go.
Yeah, but I wouldn't pick the boss battle easy one, and I know that one, and that's not really easy. I think.
Oh, is that a challenge?
I think it's not like that's one of the very old dungeons that we kept in the game, but it used a bug to basically include a boss that wasn't really intended for including in a dungeon,
Okay.
which has been fixed since. But
Well, at
yeah,
this point,
that one as well, the hard boss fight. I think actually that might have been the one I thought about when I talked about the other one, but I'm not sure.
So which
Maybe.
one should I start?
I don't think I have played 3 boss designs, but the one in the bottom right, I think that might be something that could be pretty cool.
yeah, let's try it.
Let's do it.
Sounds like there are different bosses.
Either it goes well and it's good for you, or either I'm terrible and it's good for you anyway. So
Yeah.
I'm the only one playing at a loss here. Okay, so
so from the very beginning, you get a huge arsenal of stuff, which is always nice, I think. So you have already the shield, bombs, and the feather item, which allows you to perform a dodge roll. So that's also something that players have asked in the past. Every action in the game, basically, except for the sword, is given to you by items. So if the dungeon creator does not offer you any additional items, you will always start with only a sword, and the dungeon creator can basically offer you stuff in the first room, so you have more interaction options. Or, as it often is the case in Zelda games, you can like only give them the stuff later in the dungeon. So you have like a kind of mini Metroidvania style experience where you don't have access to everything at the very start.
yeah, that's neat. If you want to make a super accessible dungeon for people who are starting with Dungeon Maker, you can. But you always start with the swords, right? That is
Yeah,
mandatory.
the sword is always there. Yeah, we thought about having the sword be an item as well in the very beginning, but we don't think it would offer like that. It will really offer anything. The only thing we can think about is like you could have like a pacifist dungeon where you cannot fight, but you can still have a dungeon like that right now where you simply don't have any enemies but only puzzle elements.
So there's not that moment. It's dangerous to go alone and take this.
No, yeah.
The shield only blocks damage, right? Or does it have other utilities like pushing or something like that?
It only blocks damage. Yeah.
Okay. Are there plans for other different power-ups in the future?
We have ideas, obviously. I mean, we are always using the Zelda games as an inspiration there, but I cannot confirm any items right now.
Neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah, I just like we are always working on stuff, but it's also like we have to choose what we prioritize at any given moment. So I can't say when anything will come. Only
and of course
that we are working on stuff.
Yeah, but also of course our community on Discord, they're always the first to know.
Yeah. And they can like if anyone in the chat is interested in the game, you can join for free on the Discord server, and you are free to like request items or give us your opinion of what might be a great addition, and we definitely take that into consideration when adding new stuff.
Because the awesome thing about these sorts of builders is that with each item that you add, it increases exponentially the different combinations that you can do, because now you can combine it with all the previous items.
Yeah, that's also why we are rather picky, I would say, about the items we do include. So we want to only include items that do offer like new possibilities, new interactions, and don't like want to just add an item simply to add an item. Basically, we want to add something that really offers new opportunities, new interactions.
Yeah. Did you add anything or any item that you figured out later that didn't work as well as you expected, or everything is fully tested before?
I think I mean there have been in the past like bugs with stuff, obviously, and which is also something where our community helps a ton, because as I said, we are in early access and we will release uh, regular updates, and sometimes there we do testing ourselves, obviously, but sometimes bugs slip through, and but people can simply report the bugs from within the game, which will reach us, and we are able to fix them early on.
We also have a different question. Does this game have a story, or is it focused on building dungeons and sharing them with other players? And if it has a story, about how many hours long it is?
Yeah, right now it's mainly focused on the building stuff. We might add a single player experience in the future. However, I cannot say how exactly it will look, and I can't say anything about like the extent or the duration of it right now.
Yeah, at this point, there are just two people working on it, so it's either getting more features, more themes, more items, more of everything, or focusing on the single player. So at this point, it's preferring more to add more to the editor. So every player has the benefit of that, the builders and the players. And at some point later, then we have to rethink how this might be.
And you can see that there's already passionate people about it. This dungeon has a custom art made, I imagine, by
Yes.
the creator, which is
Yes,
super cool.
she's one of our, I would like to say, power users. She was there from day one.
Well, that's amazing. So shall we try a random one that nobody has seen before, or is it too
Sure.
risky?
No.
Let me go to the new dungeons. Maybe
Feel free. Just feel free.
let's go to the haunted lands. I like this.
I actually think these dungeons you can play it, but this was created last week when we had a Halloween event, and but right now if you play it, it should be Halloween, but it isn't right now. I created a fix today, but the fixed version isn't on Steam yet, so you will have to play this Halloween themed dungeon in a not Halloween theme.
Okay.
So that's that, but that's also like maybe a cool show of a feature we have. So for any dungeon, when you are building, you can at any point in time change the theme of the dungeon. So for example, this is the forest theme now, but if you were building, you could freely choose and switch it to desert or castle. These are the themes we have in the game right now. There will be more in the future, and at some seasonal events, like I said, Halloween for the past week, there may be additional themes that are only accessible for that time.
When people think about these builders that have infinite possibilities, it always comes to mind the option of speedrunners. Did you build anything thinking about speedrunners? Is there a time option, or was it never a thought yet?
It has been a thought, and we are still thinking about adding it in the future, like something where you can compare your time to the time of the creator of the dungeon, something like that. So as I said, you will play the dungeon yourself when uploading it. So our goal is, or we are thinking about uploading this time, and then you can see your own time, so to see how you can compare to the creator of the dungeon.
Well, that's cool. The creator or the high score eventually?
It might be the high score, but that's something like a full high score system for user created stuff is something that is quite the technical hurdle, and we will see if it's possible for us to add that as well. I don't want to like make a committing statement on this right now, so we will see. It's the only thing I can say for that.
What was the most ambitious dungeon you've seen here from the ones the community made?
I think there's different types of ambitious. I think there's some dungeons that are basically simply huge, which is one kind of ambitious. I think you probably have to go to the south and then maybe check out. I think there are maybe doors to the left or the right.
I need the bumps
to the right here.
I need the bumps here, so I need to go to the right. Exactly.
Yeah. So there are pretty huge dungeons. So there is a restriction about how big dungeons can be, but in the full time until now, no one basically has reached that restriction. I think we have never heard about anyone having issues because of that restriction. So yeah, these barrels can, if you hit them, they will explode a little bit later. Yeah, and you can move them, and I think there's
maybe I can...
Yeah, there is a crack in the wall.
Yeah, I can use it.
Yeah.
Yes. Or maybe I can use this one. So how many different, if you know at least an estimate, objects, weapons, how many different stuff is already in the game?
For items, I think we are at 5 or 6 different items right now. There's also 6 enemy types. For decorations, I don't know the amount.
There are a lot.
Yeah, a lot. I'm not sure. I don't know the number. Then there's also 3 bosses, which we haven't seen any of until now. And then different types of switches. I think 5 types of switches. And yeah, that's like the amount. But as you said before, basically all these things, even though they are right now still rather small numbers, they are kind of multiplicative. So they multiply. So if you can, through different combinations, you will have lots of options. Some of these stones may be pushable. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Should be.
Okay.
But you will see a highlight around them, a white outline, if they are pushable. So
they don't seem
okay. So they are not. No.
So is there an item that I could use eventually to get to the other side? Because
I don't think so. I think these are just teeter.
They're bait.
They are bait. Yeah.
Okay, so now I have the shield. I can't do anything on that one. I think on this one I can't do anything either, because this is the same situation.
Yeah.
Maybe one of these. I know I need to get the bomb for the other.
I think.
Okay, I can cross now. I changed the switch.
Yeah, you can cross over there. Yeah. No.
Whoop. And there we go.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's also like we have like a trigger system that allows you to spawn or despawn objects and open doors depending on different triggers. So triggers can be stuff like levers and switches on the floor, but it can also be killing enemies.
Oh, cool. It's another one of those things. Each interaction and each thing that you can program adds another layer of depth
Yes.
to everything else. So even when you say there's 5 enemies, if you combine with the behavior of the bosses and the triggers that you can put inside the level to interact with everything, it I don't even know if you can get bored of creating different stuff.
Yes.
Um, after Switch and after the final state of the game, do you have any plans for the company? Maybe a different game, or still pumping out content for Super Dungeon Maker?
Right now we are totally focused on Super Dungeon Maker, so I can't say anything about stuff that might happen after that. I mean, obviously there will be a time sometime in the future when Super Dungeon Maker is done, and when we will be finished with the game, I mean, there's this quote, I don't know by whom it is, but a game is never finished. There's just like the time where you stop working on it, and that time will come for Super Dungeon Maker, and I guess we will then create another game. I hope so, at least. But we obviously, there are always, if you create games, there are always ideas in your head, but nothing as of yet, which nothing substantial, nothing that's really a solid idea.
For other starting indie developers that might be watching the stream, do you have any tips on how to start, how to get your first product published?
I mean, we are in a very lucky situation, I think. As I said, we have worked in the games industry before, and thereby had the luxury that we knew rokaplay, and they knew us, and they knew our capabilities, and I think that's definitely a major thing. Yeah, you finally got the bombs. I mean, you can pull the lever out as far as you want.
I'll bring
Okay.
it. I want to bring it home with me. But
Yeah. Yeah. So, no, I can say that knowing people helps, which might not be the most encouraging thing for.
But it's something that's also overlooked a lot in the gaming industry. Having the right network facilitates and speeds up a lot of things, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so there's the one you told me about.
Yeah, that's one of the bosses. Yeah.
Oh no, it's the
Yeah,
the fork knife.
Yeah,
That's a boss.
yeah, he's tricky. You will have to wait until he charges at you, and then he's stunned, and then you will be able to hit him. But
Okay.
I'm not.
Oh, okay, like this.
And now you can hit him.
Is there a spoon boss, or is the only one with cutlery?
Yeah. he's the only one with cutlery.
Not having the dash here makes it harder.
Yeah, that makes it hard.
Difficult.
There,
Yeah.
I'm going to.
Nice.
Yeah. Nearly.
Okay.
Nearly.
Yeah. Come on. Come at me, bro. What? Where did you get inspiration for the art and the design of the? What? Okay, this wasn't. The chick doesn't swim.
You can actually swim if you get like
An item.
Yeah, there's an item for that. I think the art in general,
Oh, I can
or
defend it, the shield.
the bird theme was initially due to thinking about like animal species who build stuff, and there are birds who build crazy nests. And that was basically the start of creating a character based on a bird, and then Linda just doodled around and tried to create the best visual thing, and yeah, our little thing here is what we came up with.
And she did indeed create. So I don't know if I'll be able to finish this dungeon because
don't
it,
think so.
Yeah, because it might be super long, which just shows what people can. I'll create fried chicken here just for the
Yeah.
for the end of it. But this just shows how much effort the community puts into building these massive dungeons and
Yes.
creating the experience just solely based on the effort that you put in creating the sandbox and giving them more and more tools. Um, so let's just sum it up. We for if you just joined the stream now, it's kind of late to get a hang of it. But this was Super Dungeon Maker, which is as described in a blind 30-second pitch, Super Mario Maker, but for Zelda-like games with dungeon crawling capabilities for a lot of different possibilities with items and bosses and different monsters. Did I get it right?
Yes. That's
Yes.
exactly how I would say it.
With me is Julian and Flo, the from the company that FIRECHICK, right?
Yeah, FIRECHICK is the developer.
Yeah.
So,
And Rokaplay is the publisher.
so you like the avian species a lot, right?
Yes.
The
Yes.
company is FIRECHICK.
Yes.
The main character is a chick. So I think it all fits quite well. So I don't know if you have any last words for before we close up the stream and go to the next one.
Yeah, thank you for having us. And if anyone wants to know anything more about Super Dungeon Maker, feel free to join us on our Discord. I think it was posted in the chat as well. And you can always reach out to us. And yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thanks also a lot for joining the stream and for joining us in IndieX. The game is amazing and a very well deserved finalist for our top 50. Let's see how it fares when we get the award ceremony. But for me, I enjoyed it quite a lot and hope the viewers also did. And good luck finishing it and porting it to Switch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye everyone. See you in about I don't know if we have a stream next, but if we will, there will be a timer right in a second.